As a specialist and technology leader, you can rely on us as your dependable and competent partner for consulting, planning, and construction in challenging subsoil environments. Using state-of-the-art technologies, we will realize your project safely and economically. Our team of experts will devise tailor-made design solutions for the needs of each individual project, catering for a wide variety of subsoil conditions and site scenarios. Full displacement drilled piles, also referred to as screw piles, are used as deep foundation elements, for example in residential and commercial buildings, office buildings, hotels and industrial buildings, as well as in bridges and wind turbines. They can also be used as geothermal energy piles. Full displacement bored piles do not produce borehole cuttings, thus saving on disposal and transport costs. Therefore, they can also be used in contaminated soils. Very little noise is generated in producing full displacement bored piles, and no vibrations. This makes them an ideal solution in densely populated areas and next to existing adjacent buildings. We manufacture our full displacement piles according to a pile plan. Firm, level and moisture-free working surfaces offer the best conditions for rapid production and adherence to the manufacturing tolerances. The individual attachment points are measured digitally and marked out with a round bar. First, the pile driver approaches the pile attachment point. The drill tip is positioned over the center of the marking and the machine alignment is checked. A replaceable cutting head is sealed watertight with a footed tip. The rotating cutting head is driven into the ground where it displaces the soil. This compacts the surrounding soil and enhances the load-bearing capacity of the pile. The manufacturing process generates a minimal amount of noise and is vibration-free. The applied torque is measured during the driving process and compared with subsoil data, such as drilling profiles and probing diagrams. Once the target depth has been reached, a reinforcement cage is inserted using a crane attached to the drilling rig. The pile is concreted with ready-mixed concrete, which is poured from buckets into the pipe from above by crane. The pipe and the cutting head are rotated out again in reverse. The tip detaches in the process and remains in the ground. The cutting head forms the helical pile. The concrete column inside the pipe is under high excess static pressure and immediately fills the vacated cavity with concrete. This creates a spiral-shaped concrete ridge in the soil around the pile shaft, approximately 5 centimeters thick. Thus, the Atlas pile achieves a very high skin friction in the subsoil, which is responsible for a large part of the subsequent load transfer. The pile heads are capped after excavation and placement of a concrete blinding. Capping the pile heads exposes the connection reinforcement for the base slab. Atlas piles are designed and manufactured in accordance with German and European standards, Eurocode 7 and the recommendations of the Piles Working Group. This, combined with individually coordinated procedural instructions, gives you the certainty of tested and reliable construction implementation. The subsoil surveyor may request trial piles prior to construction in order to match the pile system to the prevailing soil conditions. We can usually provide references from comparable soil conditions from our extensive archive of test loads. This saves the client costs and time while providing the same degree of security. The key data generated during the manufacturing of the piles is recorded in a pile log and subsequently checked by the site manager. The work equipment, pile attachment points, ready-mixed concrete and reinforcement cages are regularly checked against quality control plans and checklists. After the pile heads have been exposed and capped, we recommend carrying out an integrity test on at least 10% of the finished piles. The integrity measurements are used to check the quality and geometry of the piles. Our experienced personnel will be happy to implement a fully functional full displacement pile system on your construction site.